Good morning, students. Today we will go through a new poem from your Flamingo book, and this is called Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. Now, this is a deceptively simple poem written by Pablo Neruda about the need for a little bit of soul searching, which may help us to make peace with not only ourselves but others. It tells us how a moment of self introspection will make us realize the utter futility of our aggressive endeavors. This poem opens in an arrestic, dramatic way. As soon as we go into the poem, you will see it is rather opening in a arrestic, dramatic way where the poet introduces a game of a hide and seek, but in a reversed one. How it is, we'll definitely come to know. But first, let us know a few words about Pablo Neruda, the poet of this poem. Now, this is a picture of Pablo Neruda. His actual name was Ricardo Eliezer Neftali Reyes Basualto, better known by his pen name and later legal name Pablo Neruda. He was a Chilean poet, diplomat, and politician who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. Pablo Neruda is one of the most influential and widely read 20th century poets of the Americas. No writer of world renown is perhaps so little known to North Americans as Chilean poet Pablo Neruda, observed New York Times book review critic Selden Rodman. Numerous critics have praised Neruda as the greatest poet writing in the Spanish language during his lifetime. John Leonard in the New York Times declared that Neruda was, I think, one of the great ones, a Whitman of the South. Among his contemporaries, readers in the United States, he is largely remembered for his weight odes and love poems. Now this is all about Neruda in a very short way. If you want to go into further further, if you want to probe into his life, you can definitely go in Google and you'll get a whole page, lot of articles written about him. Okay, so much further ado, let's move on to the poem itself. So as I told you, the poem is opens in a rather artistic, dramatic way. Okay, the poet introduces a game of a hide and seek, as I already told you, but in a reversed manner. And how it is, the players would all count to 12 and then keep still in silence for 1 second. They would stop all their babbling tongues and moving arms. Instead of searching outside, they would look inside and do some introspection. So, the poet says it is extremely needed because it will lead us to an exotic moment and take us back to the days before the Tower of Babel. They would all be speaking the same language of what? Silence. They would all be together in a very sudden strangeness that is never known to mankind. Okay, this poem we will go as we go along, we will discuss the line by line meaning of the poem first. Now, the poem is written in a free verse. For the poem, I want to say you there are no rhyming scheme. It is written in a free verse. Please note it down because it is important. You may be asked what is the rhyming scheme of the poem Keeping Quiet. Please remember it is written in a free verse. It does not follow any form of rhyming scheme. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. So, what is Neruda asking? Keeping Quiet is a peace poem written by the Chilean poet Pablo Neruda. Neruda over here asks humanity to count numbers from 1 to 12. Humanity or the mankind, for better understanding I will say not humanity but the mankind, to count numbers from 1 to 12, being the numbers these numbers can be the numbers of hours shown in a clock or the numbers of zodiac sign or the 12 months of the year. Okay, he requests everyone not to speak because language creates barriers between people. The moment when everyone stops moving their body will be very special and different as we ever experienced such a moment before. So, if we go to the line to line description of the line to line analysis explanation of the poem, we will understand that First, we'll take the first line. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. What does the poet says over here? The poet asks everyone to count up to 12 in their mind. This number 12, as I already told you, can represent the hours of the day or the zodiac, 12 zodiac signs or the 12 months of the year. We will all keep still means he wants us, all of us, to be calm and still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second. What he says? People across the nation have to unite together. So they shall not speak their own language. Rather, they all shall keep quiet and speak the language of silence. This will bring unity among all the humans on the face of the earth. Okay. He asks people not to speak because languages differ from one place to another in different parts of the earth, which sometimes becomes a barrier in our way to peace. So he asks people to be in complete silence. Not only this, he asks us not to stop, he asks us to stop moving our arms. Here, by referring the word arms, he means the weapons. What are these weapons? Any form of weapons that we use against our own brothers living in the same society or against any different nation to raise a war against each other. Okay, so basically, what the poet is doing in this entire poem, he is asking the entire mankind to remain at peace, and he is demanding peace from all of us. Okay, next, it would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. So, what does he say? When everything will come to a standstill, it will be a very rare situation to watch because there had never been such an incident before when mankind, every people in this world came to stand still and no one spoke anything, rather, everyone observed a dead silence. No one will be in a rush. It would be an exotic moment because no one will be in a rush. No engines will be running anywhere. Everyone will be calm and quiet, united with each other in a strange atmosphere. Why this strange suddenness? Because we as a human being are not very used to this strange silence. We are rather more used to this blabbering and mudslinging from one place to another, from one people to another, just imposing our fault to another and just shoving off our own duty, not introspecting what can we better do for this world, but we are always uh, you know probing, we are always imposing our fault on others, accusing people, justifying our own cause to justifying our own cause and hurting them if not is needed. So um, let's move on to the next paragraph. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hard hand. So no human being, no person would be harming any animals. Okay, so the poet says that it would be a rather rare situation when there will be no engines working, that he wants us to stay, that if everything comes to a standstill, it will be a very different moment. It will be something very different to watch. Now, we have all seen this in the last 1 or 2 years. In 2020 and 2021, we rather saw this kind of activity when all of us were jammed inside our house because of this deadly coronavirus. If the world came to us still, no one blabbered, no one talked for a moment. We just kept looking into ourselves. We were channelizing our energy outside, were cut out by this constant threat from the deadly virus. If all the engines like the vehicles and the machine stops, then there will be a sudden strange situation as the world will experience a sudden calmness. People will not be in a rush to achieve material things one after another. Further, what the poet says that if the fisherman will also stop and not harms the whale in the seas, this means that the poet is urging everyone not to harm animals. What is the work of a fisherman? His work is to catch fish, not to harm the whales. These whales are innocent creatures. They are mammoth creatures that roam around the water bodies, and usually fishermen hunt them for greater meat, for costly or expensive meat, for expensive deal, because they sell off this whale meat for some extra money. This should be stopped for an instance, as the poet demanded from us. Here he gives some example of the whales which are being hunted for the purpose of food or trade. He also wants people to calm down so that they can stop and see what they have achieved or lost. For that, he gives the example of the man who gathers the salt, whose hands are hurt. Here he wants everyone for a while in order to see and feel their achievements and how much they have lost for the sake of their achievements, for the sake of attaining their materialistic things, how much they have damaged and injured their mind and body in attaining such materialistic things. For a moment, Neruda wants us to stop, sit still, and introspect into it. Here we have some literary devices that we will go through right now. The literary devices are extremely important. I keep on repeating in every classes that are extremely important both for the CBSE and the council students. So first we'll see the first literary device that are being used over here is the term assonance. Assonance, I told you, the repetition of the same vowel sound is complete opposite of the literary device alliteration. Here see the very first line, there is the constant use of the vowel sound O. Now we will count to 12. O and E, there has been constant repetition of the vowel sound O and E. This is an example of the assonance used inside the poem. And see the next line, and not move our arms so much. Here also there is a constant repetition of the vowel sound O, and hence this also becomes the assonance. Next is a kind of a new word, a new literary device for you. This is called an anaphora. What is an anaphora? Anaphora is a repetition of word or phrase at the beginning of several sentences or clause. Here see, both the sentence starts with the same word let's. This is called an anaphora. I had given you the definitions of various kinds of literary and rhetoric devices. If you remember, if you have the copy, I don't know whether you have it or you have lost it, but I had already given you there. But anaphora was missing here. I had included the definition of, well, what is anaphora? I repeat once more. It is a repetition of a word or a phrase at the beginning of several sentences or clause. In this case, the word let's are used twice before the same sentence. Okay. Next, move to the next paragraph. Those who prepare green wars with gas, wars with fires, victory with no survivors. The people who exploit the green wealth of nature by deforestation. What are the green wars? Here, Pablo Neruda means the people who exploit the green wealth of nature by deforestation or mining or fishing. If you remember from our last year's book, we have read 2 chapters, The Ailing Planet and the council student, you have also that chapter. You also had the chapter called The Many and the None, where the authors had constantly asked for the readers to focus on how the natural wealth of the world is being depleted by human being, how it is being exploited by the human being. Here the poet asks the people to stop exploiting the green wealth of nature by deforestation, by mining, by fishing in the deep seas, and soldiers who use weapons to kill fellow human beings need some time to retrospect into the consequence of their action. They are merely doing their job or following orders. That is what they are doing. They are not doing it for their own cause. They are just doing it for earning money and livelihood. The same way the fisherman kills the whale in the sea. They are also doing the same. They are hurting the green wealth of nature by deforestation, mining, fishing, etc. And the soldiers, they are ordered to use weapon to kill fellow human beings by their leaders. These people should stand still for a moment. They should all be silent, and they should need to introspect into their consequence of their action. Whatever they were doing, what will be the consequence of them, they should need to introspect into that for a moment. They are merely doing their job and they are following their orders. They should once realize from the point of view of a human being whether whatever they are doing, whether it is good for the human mankind or the world as well. Victory with no survivors would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. So he want these soldiers who had killed their fellow human beings, the people who are exploiting the green wealth of nature, they should put on new clothes. That is to adopt a new approach. New cloth means to adopt a new approach towards life and to realize that killing so many people is not a victory at all. Okay, here what I repeat once more, to put on new clothes means to adopt a new approach. Please note it down, just note it down in your book. To put on new clothes means they should adopt a new approach towards life and to realize that killing so many people, destroying the nature, will not lead to victory after all. It will only lead to depletion of mankind, like we can see right now. There's so much hatred against the nature, against the human being around us, had led us fighting in with this deadly virus right now. This would have not come to us if we had been more cautious, if we had introspected, if we had heard the poets and the authors who kept on nagging us to understand our human civilization better by introspecting, by looking into ourselves, by thinking, by giving a moment and to sit still for a moment so that we can realize whatever harm we are doing to the world, to us after all. He wants all of us, and what he asks, he walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. So what he does, he wants all of us to be united, consider our enemy to be our brother. Here the poet is promoting universal brotherhood, peace and unity. He wants not us He does not want us to stop our works, but to take some time and analyze the result of our deeds. Here we cannot stop working, because if we stop working, then how we are going to feed our children, how we are going to support our family? If we become, if we suddenly turn to saints, then it will be something like deserting our family, it will be deserting our children. That cannot be done, but we should sit or stand still for a moment to analyze the results of our deed, the consequence of everything that we have been doing for so many years, rather to either to earn livelihood or following mere orders of our superior bosses. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. So he does not want, as I told you, does not want the entire world to come to a still. He does not want that that everyone should stop working. Please don't get confused. He does not want inactivity. He want what? He want introspection of human being, in analyzation of the results, the outcomes that are about to happen mandatorily for whatever they had done throughout their life. He says so because wars and environmental damage will lead to no life on earth. He wants people to have a new approach towards life and mankind. He says that you should treat your enemy like brothers and promote peace and harmony in the world. If you were not so single minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. If we were not so single minded, that means all human beings work endlessly with the aim of complete all their tasks. They are driven by the target of survival and threat of death always. They are in a mad rush to accomplish all their works before they die. He says that perhaps if they all pause for a while, they can appreciate their arrangement, their achievements, their accolades, that whatever feathers they had being able to achieve, how many feathers they had already on their cap, their lives would become more happier. He suggests that by keeping quiet we will be able to understand the true purpose of our life. The poet asks everyone to stop for a while and take some moment to relish on what they have achieved till now. Every year, over here, everyone in this life, all of us, we are living a life in which he wants to achieve various things one after another. We are living a life where all of us wants to do something after another. We need to succeed. We are all climbing this staircase of success, but the poet says it is time to stop and see what has been achieved and should be enjoyed, and in this achievement how much pain, how much damage, how much injuries we have inflicted upon ourselves and to people around us. This will help us to skip the sadness which has become so prominent in our lives. Think for a moment. Right now we are all stuck at home, we are all being homebound by this deadly coronavirus, but I don't know about you people, for me it had given me that extra time that I needed to rebound, to patch up with my family from whom I had moved apart for a very long time, because I also, like every other people in the world, had ran after success, had ran after after to a betterment of my career, betterment of my life, and in doing so I have maybe injured many people around me, maybe had injured myself, could not give them time, never had time from them as well. So this had led into a lot of rifts between each and every members of the family, and it is same for every one of us. We have not connected with our friends, we had not talked with our best friend for a very long time, and we had laughed, we had not watched movie together sitting at our home, but enjoyed movies in the movie theaters, going around with random people. But right now we all had the time to introspect into whatever achievement we had in our life, so as to overcome this prominent sadness that have overspread throughout our life. Of never understanding ourselves and threatening ourselves with death. Okay, this is it, and in this, let's see what are the literary devices. Over here also there are assonance in these two lines. Victory with no survivors would put on clean clothes. There is dominance of the sound, vowel sound. Oh, this is an assonance again. Then over here, see, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt the sadness of never understanding ourselves with of and ourselves, and of threatening ourselves with death. See, in these four lines there are no punctuation marks at the end of each lines. This is called what? This is an enjambment. It is a poetic term for the continuation of a sentence or a phrase from one line of poetry to the next. An enjambed line typically lacks punctuation at its line break. So these two are the literary devices used in the paragraphs. Okay, clear? We'll move on to the next and the last paragraph. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and latter proves to be alive. Now I'll count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. The earth over here teaches us this same strange silence each time as it undergoes what? It undergoes changes. In winter everything freezes, it becomes lifeless, everything comes stands still, everything is being covered by snow, it seems that there are no life left. Okay, then the season changes again and everything comes back to life as the season spring walk in. Similarly, taking a pause and introspecting into our life will give it a new meaning. We'll be able to understand the purpose of our life. It will be like a rebirth of a soul, like, rising from our own ashes. The poet over here conveys to all the people the purpose of his message, and so he asks them once again to take a pause, count till 12, and walks out of the scene, keeping the same open for all the people on the earth to experience this time to come. This, he says, as he has conveyed his message to the people and wants them to be left alone to think about it and work in the direction of the peace. Here, this illustration means introspection, looking into our own self. The illustration over here denotes introspection, and this ends our poem. This is a very different kind of poem, not the same romantic poems that we are used to in our syllabus, but this is a rather different poem, but it is something for us, and something with the greater message comes to us, that we should always look into ourselves. We should introspect for a moment. We should stop all we are doing, and we should keep quiet and think what injuries we did to ourselves, what injuries we did to others, and we should all shed that older approach and wear new clothes, wear newer approach, and then walk hand in hand with our brothers and make this world a better place to live in. So that's it, guys. That's the end of the poem. We'll definitely have the doubt clearing session, and I'll give you the question and answers as soon as I post this video. So thanks all of you, and watch through the video. Make sure that you have written down all the literary devices that I have pointed out, and if you have any doubt, then definitely I'm here. Please give me a call. For the time being, goodbye.